What's happening, good people? Welcome to the channel. I'm Wes, aka Mr. Budget Watch, and today we are taking a look at this fantastic gift guide I've put together for the watch enthusiast in your life. If you do have one in your life, whether it's your brother, your uncle, your significant other, your dad, whoever it is, we can be a bit difficult to buy for. So that's why I put together this little guide to help you come up with some ideas that they might not have got already, and also some really useful ones as well. So actually, before we get into the list, I just want to say that all the links for everything will be down in the description for your convenience. I've also put some alternatives in as well, which are a little bit more affordable in some cases. Now keep in mind that all the links are affiliated. That means that it doesn't cost you any extra to use those links, but I do get a small commission which helps fund the channel. 'Cause, if you realise, by now, if you're not in the industry, it is expensive to run a channel like this one. Obviously, having to purchase stuff to feature on the channel, it can get costly. So this little bit of commission does go a long way to help keep the channel maintained. But again, doesn't cost you any extra, and I do so much appreciate it if you can use my links if possible. So anyway, let's not waste any more time and get into the first. So first up on this list is a Seiko alarm clock, which is like a sports style. It's really cool. It's got like a little bit of retro look to it as well. It kind of looks like something they'd use a long time ago. I just think it's so quirky and so cool. So if they've got like a little man cave or a little setup where they've got like all their stuff, I think this could be a great little accessory. They also do it in a few different other colours as well. There's I believe a silver one and also a gold one. They are a little bit more premium, but the yellow one I think is just iconic because it's what the original was as well. So there's just a little look around it. You can see you can power it by the mains or battery. You can set it, and it's very simplistic but really cool, and something a little bit different if they've not got one already. So while we're on the clocks, there is another one. So this one is modelled after one of Seiko's watches, and I just think it's something a little bit different. Again, they could put this in their little man cave, in their little their own little room where they have all their watches and all their stuff. Something again a little bit different. You do need batteries for this one though, so I'll put some good batteries as well in the description, so you don't have to shop around. A couple of different colours. The blue one is the cheapest, and then we've got a green and also a white, which is very nice as well. So yeah, I really quite like this. A little bit quirky, a little bit different, and it's made by Seiko as well, one of the biggest watchmakers on the planet. And then the final clock again is another Seiko one, a little bit more minimalistic this one. So if your significant other, brother, uncle, is into their more minimalist thing, then this could be right up their alley. Very nice, sort of Bauhaus style, little pops of yellow. I just think it's so cool, and again will look awesome in a man cave or a little room where they have all their stuff. So next up is something which I didn't know existed until I made this video, and that is these cool little steampunk style cufflinks, which are actually a watch movement. So again, if you've got a watch enthusiast, I think they would find this quite interesting. They could put it on their shirt, and it's just something a little bit quirky, would make a nice little stocking filler, and yeah, I just think I think they're really cool. So there's just a couple of images. You get a nice little gift box with them, and a free tie clip as well, which is always nice. You can see they're handcrafted, free tie clip, high grade, and you get that little gift box as well. So again, just a nice quirky little stocking filler. So moving on to the next one, and again another little quirky stocking filler. So this is just a watch stand. So essentially all that you do is just rest your watch on it, and it's just something a little bit different, a little bit out there. So if maybe they're a fan of space, or if they're into like NASA and stuff like that, then it sort of ties in with that as well. So you can just rest your watch on it, and it's just a little bit different than just plonking it on a desk. It's fun. It's again, it's a little bit quirky and a little bit different. So there's a picture of it with a watch on, and it's just a little bit of fun. So you can see it's got a sponge mat to stop the watch from getting damaged. It's a resin made, and there's just a couple of images of it. Again, this will be linked down in the description. They've also got a butler as well, which is kind of cool. And I also found some alternatives on AliExpress, and I believe there is a panda, which is what I'm ordering, And there's also a bulldog as well, which is really cool. So they will be linked as well if you want to check those out. So moving on, we have another slightly more premium looking watch stand. Now I have seen these on sale for like 80 and 90 pound, which I think is quite expensive. So I found one with a genuine marble base and a leather pad for 20 quid. I thought that was pretty, pretty impressive. So there is what it looks like. So you just rest your watch on top of it, and it's nice, and it's market, it's classy. And yeah, I just think it's, again, it would look nice on a desk setup. So if they've got like their PC or laptop, or, if they're using Apple, they could have that next to it with their watch on it to, keep it safe. And it just looks really nice. You can also see they do them in black as well. So if they're not a fan of the white marble effect, there's a black. And I think that has like, there's a few with gold and silver in them as well, which looks really nice. And again, it's classy, but a cool little stocking filler. Moving on, again, we've got another little stocking filler, and this is like an organizer tray. Again, this is something that you'd put on your desk, and you can see what you can have in it. So you can put your glasses, obviously your keys, some little note-taking devices, a pen is what I'm trying to get at, your watch, your wallet, maybe some loose change or something like that. And again, it's just better than it, just being stuck on on top of your desk. Or you could even put this in a drawer and keep all your things organized. So you could actually put some watch straps in it, and maybe your favorite watch. So you could have, change a strap if you want to, and then you could have your watch on the side, and that way you can, swap and change as you want. Or you could have your watch and a strap in the other side, and then you could put the tools in the smaller side, so you can do quick strap changes if you want to. So this is made out of a high quality leather. We've got like a fabric inner to stop everything from getting scratched, and I think for $17.99 it looks quite premium. So yeah, we've also got another alternative, which is a little bit different as well. You can see we've got a little section for your sunglasses or glasses, some for your finger. You can put your phone in it, maybe some rings or spare things, a little money holder as well, and then of course you've got a little space to put your watches. Again, you could tuck this away in a drawer if you wanted to, or you could have it on display on your desk. And there's these sizes, so it's quite a generous side. It's got a little hidden flap there as well, so you can actually cover something up if you wanted to. Again, it's not really secure, but it's just one of those things that's good for organisation. So if your significant other, etc., is quite messy, get them something like this, and they can keep everything nice and organised. Or if they're like me, they'll probably just put it to one side and still be messy. But there's just that. So now we're going to move on to like travel cases and stuff like that, because I think these are very important, especially if you're going abroad a lot, or if you're traveling a lot, and something like this would come in handy. So this is a Reniter, and it's like a Pelican style hard case. So you can see it's packed full of foam, and there is a slot for your watch. So essentially you could take two watches with you. You could have one on your wrist, and you could have one in this little case. So it's a hard shell, so you can obviously take it on an aeroplane, and it's not going to get broke if it's rattling around. So yeah, I just think it's cool. There is shockproof ABS, clasp, full foam protection, and it's got an O-ring seal as well, which I think is really nice. So there's your sizes and dimensions if you want to look at. There's the weight, and it is waterproof too. So if it accidentally gets wet, then your watch is not going to get damaged inside. It looks like they also do it in orange as well, so if they don't want a boring black one, they can have an orange one too, which I think is quite cool. So moving on to more of a premium option. So this is a 3-watch roll essentially, and the reason why I picked this one instead of the one I use is because we have these little dividers in the middle sections. So because of these dividers, your watches are not going to clash together and scratch each other, and I think that is really cool. It's one of the more affordable ones as well, and I am actually going to be ordering myself one of these, because at the minute, if you buy them now, you get 6% off just by clicking this little button, and that comes off at the checkout. There's your dimensions, so it's pretty compact. It is round. They do also do some different ones as well, which I have linked if you don't like this one. Here's a picture of it with the watches. You can see the watches are separated. We have these little pop buttons to keep it nice and secure, and these actual cushions as well come apart too, which I think is really nice. So you can just see how it all works here. Everything is held together by these little press studs, which I think is really cool. And there's the outer, really nice classic looking watch roll. And there's what it looks like there. And you can see removable soft pillows, really nicely stitched, premium inner material, and there's also a little video if you want to check that out as well. So moving on, we have a more premium option. So this is essentially does the same job as the previous one, but it's a little bit more upmarket. They use a higher quality leather, higher quality inner material, and it is obviously branded with Mirage. Now if you've heard of Mirage, they make some really top quality stuff, and you can see there is a lot of different options to choose from. So we've got single holders in a few different colours, then we've got a double holder again. Ooh, that one's quite nice. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. They've also got a nice grey. Ooh, that one's nice. Oh, I could honestly look at these for ages. If I had the budget, I would definitely grab one of these because I just think they're so nice. For me, I quite like this one with the sort of ox blood and black. I just think that's a really elegant combination. But yeah, this is a look at it. And so say if you're, your significant other, I keep saying partner, brother, etc., has some, quite expensive watches that they want to display, then, this would be a nice little way to do it. So if they've got like 3 watches that they wear all the time, then, something like this would be very, very nice. And they could also take it travelling as well, because, it fits in a bag quite nicely, and it is quite secure too. So moving on to the next one, we have a watch box. Now if, again, I'm not going to say it, if they've got a big watch collection, they're obviously going to need somewhere to actually put the watches. The reason why I've recommended this one is because this is the one I use. It's not the most premium out there, but it just gets the job done. So there's space for 12 different watches. And you also have this, oh, hang on, if I click on it, there you go, you can see we've got this little storage at the bottom, and we've got a better picture there. So your watches go in the top, so you can have up to 12 watches. And then we've got these little dividers here. So I use mine for essentially watch tools. So I've got watch tools in this one, and I have some spare straps and stuff in this one. This one I just keep little knickknacks. I've got a couple of rings, and then we can have like jewellery up on this portion. So it's very, very useful. And one little tip for you, if you are buying a watch box, then always buy one with a metal hinge. Don't get the ones with the fabric hinges because they are terrible and they just close on their own and they're a nightmare. So if you're going to get one with a proper metal hinge because they stay open and they don't slam shut. So that is just a little tip for you right there. And 27 quid, I actually paid a little bit more than that. They've come down in price. You can see they've also got a brown leather one as well. So yeah. That's a nice one. Really, it's actually really good quality. You can see all your watches in it, and it just it gets the job done. So moving on, we've got a wooden one. So if they want a wood instead of leather, this one only holds 8 watches, and it is a little bit smaller. They do different ones as well, but this is just a nice looking one. Again, we've got those good metal hinges which you want. 8 watches, and again we've got those little accessory drawers at the bottom. So that's what it looks like. I think this one just looks a little bit more classy. And you can see we've got this really nice hinge mechanism on the front and a little knob to obviously open the bottom drawer. And you can see how you'd utilise the space down in the bottom, so they can have rings, jewellery and stuff in the bottom, or you could put a pair of sunglasses, your rings, and have all your daily stuff put in the bottom. So you pull it out, if they put a bracelet on, a ring on, etc, etc, that can all be stored there. And I think the price is pretty good as well, £21 for a wood watch box. I think that's pretty good. So moving on, we're on the travel kick again, and this one is something I actually use. I don't use this specific one. I will link a cheaper alternative down in the description. Basically does exactly the same thing as this one, it just doesn't say watch pod on the front. So this essentially is a single watch holder, and you can see it's got like this little donut inside, and it just keeps the watch nice and safe. So essentially you could put this in a jacket pocket. So say if you were going out somewhere and you were maybe going to an event in the evening, so you're wearing your daily watch and then you've got your dress watch, you could put your dress watch in this and keep it safe in your bag, and then swap them over if you need to. But that's what it looks like, and they're just handy to have. Even if you don't use it all the time, it's just a handy little product to have. So moving on, we've got another one, and this one again is for travel. So say if you're going on holiday for maybe a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they want to take a a few watches with them because they might like swapping their watches daily, which is what a lot of us like doing. We love swapping watches on a daily basis and wearing a different one each day. So something like this would be pretty handy. You can see we've got 8 slots for different watches, and we've got these little elastic tabs which actually hold the watches in place, all padded as well, and a little divider to stop the watches from clashing together. So you can see how it would sort of look with the watches in. You can see you use those little elastic straps just to hold everything nice and in place, and again that divider just stops them from bumping into each other. So just another shot there, and then that's what it looks like, and there are your dimensions. So if you want to pause it and take a look. So you can see it's like made of a high quality PU leather, and it's got a nice zip as well to keep everything secure. So moving on, we've got a very premium waxed canvas watch roll. Now I do love a good watch roll, and I am actually going to be picking one up for myself for Christmas because I don't have one at the minute. So this is one I'm considering, and it's made by Barton. Now Barton do make some really good quality stuff, and I think this one is really nice. You can see we've got a few different slots for different watches, and essentially all that a watch roll does is it's just another way to store your watches while you're traveling. So you can put like 3 or 4 different watches in here, wrap them up nice and safe, and you're going to have, you know, a few different changes. So if you don't want something as big and bulky as a case, then this is a great alternative. Yes, these aren't as secure as an actual case, but you know, if you're taking them on like carry-on or something like that, and you're not putting them, you know, in the under base, or I don't know what it's called. I don't really go on planes much, but if you're putting it on and you've got carry-on, then this would be perfect. I'd get the Renator if you were, you know, putting it in your suitcase, and it would go in the storage where they put the luggage. I don't know, the cargo bay, whatever it's called. But anyway. So yeah, you can tell I don't go on planes much. But yeah, this is good for like carry on, or if you go in, you say on like a little weekend getaway, you could put your watches in this, and you know they'd be nice and secure, much more secure than if you know you're just carrying them in something else. Now here is the one I am contemplating buying. It's basically the same as the Barton, just a little bit less premium. It's not branded, but it does essentially the same job. It's made out of a wax canvas again. And you know, it's not as high quality as the Barton, but it is significantly cheaper. So that's the one I'm actually considering buying for myself. But you know, again, it does exactly the same job as the Barton, it's just not as expensive. So moving on to another thing I've been thinking about buying, and that is a watch winder. Now with watch winders, they do have a bit of a bad reputation, and that is, well, essentially true in part, but I'm just going to explain like how they work and everything. So essentially there's a few different types of watch winders. There's watch winders that just run constantly, and those are the ones that you don't want to buy because they can actually damage your watch in the long run. The one like this essentially has a few different modes, so you can keep it running, but it'll actually stop during the day, so it won't just run constantly. You can see here we have rotations per day. And I've actually watched a lot of videos on this, and it's really good. So these are the ones you want to be looking at, the 650 to 900, and essentially that'll just keep your automatic watches topped up, but it won't overwind them. So if you have them on the 1200 or 1500, that kind of overwinds them just a smidge. But you know, these are your ones that you want, and it just keeps your watches running. So essentially with an automatic watch, it's got a rotor, and that actually charges the watch to make it run. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but in you know, in simple terms, that's how it works. So when you're not wearing the watch, it runs out. So that means you have to wind it up or wear it to get the watch going again. Having a watch winder takes all that hassle out. So essentially, as long as you don't leave it running all the time and you're just mindful of it, then a watch winder like this is perfectly fine. Again, don't get one of those watches that just run all the time. This is one that you want. Now, there is another famous brand called Wolf. This is essentially an affordable alternative to those, because those are like £300, whereas this one is £80. It does pretty much the same job. It's not as premium or as high tech, but it does a very, very similar job on a bit of a lower budget. So it's got like a leather outer case. You can see it's got a nice leather pillow on the inside, a nice little perspex window so you can see your watch inside. A couple of different colours. We've got brown leather, a black leather, and the orange leather, which I think is really cool. And that's how it all works. You can see there's your little cushion, what it sits on. You pop it inside, plug it into the mains, and you just set it on your timer. You can see that's how you control it here. So you've got your directions on the left, and then on the right you can see you've got a little switch, and that is your different modes. You can also pair two of these together. So that means you only use one outlet for two, and you can actually connect even a few more together as well. I wouldn't put too many on one outlet though, but I think you can connect up to 3 on one, which I think is really cool. So again, you know, just something a little bit different, and I think it would again look nice on a desk. So now we're going to take a look at a few different strap options that I recommend. Now I have actually made a video on different straps. I will link that down in the description as well if you don't want to pay these prices. But these ones I've had hands-on experience with and are some of my favourite straps. So this one is a little bit expensive, but honestly, in my opinion, it's worth it. It's one of my favourite straps of all time, and that is the Archer Horween leather. It's handmade and it is beautiful quality for the price point. Some Horween leather straps I've seen go up to 80 quid, so you're paying about half for that one. Oops, it is it. So you can see, very, very simple looking strap. It's like a vintage style, stainless steel buckle, 2 leather keepers, and Horween leather, and it's so nice and soft. You can see we've got a soft leather inner, and it is such a comfortable strap. It's a little bit rustic looking, and you can see what it looks like on a watch. Very, very beautiful quality strap. Loads of different colours as well. The one I went for was the natural, and you've got a couple of different sizes as well. Now I will link Archer's store in the description as well, because they only have 18 and 22, whereas most watches are 20mm. So you can obviously buy these direct from Archer as well. I just thought with them on Amazon, you know you're going to get them in time for Christmas, whereas Archer, unless you're in the States, I don't think they'll come in time for the holidays, which is a little bit of a shame. So moving on to my favourite silicone strap, which again is made by Archer. This one's a little bit more affordable, tons and tons of different colour options and loads of different sizes too. And these are very, very good quality. I've had quite a few, and I've got quite a few of these straps, and I just think they're so good quality. They're really, really comfortable, got quick release, so it's actually easy to swap them out. And if you are actually buying this as a gift for someone else, make sure that you get this size right. So what you want to do essentially is subtly try and get the size without them like getting an inkling of what you're doing. I know that's going to be a little bit difficult, but you can actually measure the watches as well. So I'll put in the comments on how to do that, so I'm not like wasting even more time in this video. But yeah, make sure you get this right, otherwise it won't fit the watch and it'll be kind of useless. So yeah, just double check that before you purchase. And here is my favourite NATO strap. This one is by Barton, and it's the one I use on my Hamilton, and it's absolutely beautiful, really good quality, and well made. So this is the one I have, the gingerbread brown. I'll actually pop a picture up of it now so you can actually see it on a watch, and it's beautiful, so comfortable and well made. Loads of different sizes as well. I've got the 20mm standard, but if your significant other, partner, brother, whatever, has got a bigger wrist, then the long is probably what you want to go for. So again, you're going to have to try and subtly find out what their wrist size is. It actually tells you there what size to get for depending on what wrist size they have. Next up, we're actually heading over to eBay and one of my favourite stores to actually buy straps from, and that is Watch Gecko. Now, just keep in mind, I'd definitely check shipping times on these. We do have quite a while before actually the holidays are upon us, but there is a cut-off for shipping, so just make sure if you're going to order, order early. So this is basically their store, and they have hundreds of different straps. They've got silicone, they've got leather, they've got metal ones, bracelets, what I mean, and they've just got tons. They've got NATOs, 2-piece straps, pretty much anything you could want, and they are really, really good quality straps. You can see there's like 3 pages worth of stuff, so I'm not going to go through them all today, but they are very, very high quality and quite affordable too. But again, make sure you check shipping times. You can also see that some of them are 10% off as well, which is even better. So moving on quickly, so we've just looked at some strap options. So what about a strap organizer? So again, they might have a big strap collection, so why not get them something to actually organize them? So you can see we've got loads of different slots, so you can actually put their favorite watch straps together. At the minute, mine are in a drawer, which is not very convenient. but I could be doing with something like this to actually keep my straps organised. So especially my favourite ones that I wear all the time. So basically you can just put them in this little case, and you know, jobs are good, and you've got all your straps organised and in one place. Really nice little carry handle, so you can take it with you. And then we've got a little pocket there. Really handy. You can see you can also use it for different things as well. So you can actually take this, say if you're going away for a weekend, you could put a watch in it, a couple of straps, and also, you know, phone cable, earphones, whatever you want to take. There's also, you know, a few different styles and variations as well. Moving on to something a little bit different, and now quite a lot of watch enthusiasts like this book. Personally, I'm going to be honest, I don't like reading all that much. I'm more of a visual. I like watching videos more than I do reading. But if you know, they like reading, then I've heard and I've read the reviews and I've watched videos talking about it. This book is like the go-to watch book, and the reason why it's so good is because it's not like just telling you all the specifications, the prices. It actually tells you stories and experiences with watches, instead of just telling you, you know, oh, it's got this and it's got this and it's, you know, it costs this much. It's basically like a watch enthusiast's experience with watches put into a book, and I just think it's really good. I've had a little glance through. You can actually you know, click on it and you know, take a read at the material. Obviously you know, you can't really just copy it like this, because, you know, I want you to go down. Oh, it's just being awkward. Anyway, you can see you can buy it for Kindle as well if you want, but obviously hardback is nice. You can just see we've got loads of little stories and pictures of different watches, and I think it's just a fascinating read. Again, not a fan of reading personally, but you know, someone might be. Right, so now we're on the final stretch, and we're going to be talking about watch care and watch maintenance. So if you know, I'm not going to keep saying it because I'm just going to waffle on. If they're like looking after their own watches, then these are going to be, you know, things that you want to going to take a look at. So Polywatch is great for watches that are vintage, or your modern Casios and stuff like that. Having a couple of tubes of this comes in handy. Again, you know, just like a little stocking filler. It's great to keep, you know, your watches looking nice and fresh. You know, if you're not sure how it all works, essentially it removes scratches from plastic and acrylic. So you can actually use it on different things, but it is intended for watch crystals. So it just shows you how to use it, and there's plenty of tutorials as well online on how to use it properly. Here is something else that I really do love, and that is Cape Cod. Now this stuff is brilliant. It's great for metal. So essentially, if you've got a watch with a polished surface, having these on hand is really good. And what it does is essentially it sort of revitalizes the watch and just gives it that shine again. So I use this on a lot of my watches that, you know, get a little bit scuffed up. It doesn't actually remove scratches, but it just sort of buffs them out a little bit, just to make them a little bit less noticeable. And it also brings the shine back as well. I don't use these a lot, but I use them every now and then. You know, if a watch just gets a little bit scuffed, or you know, a few little hairline scratches, it just sort of reduces them a little bit, and again just brings that polished back to its sort of, you know, factory. But again, I would recommend not overusing them. But the reason why I like this kit is because you get plenty of cloths, and you also get some gloves as well, because it like leaves residue on your fingers. But again, you know, they'd probably know how to use this. So moving on, we've got a watch repair kit. Now I think every watch enthusiast should have a good repair kit. I've got one myself, and this is a very good one. It comes in a very nice box, which usually they don't come in a box. They usually come in a little bag like that, but I just think this one would make a nice little gift just because of how nice and neatly it's presented. So you pretty much get all the basic tools right there for watch maintenance. So you've got tools for changing straps, you've got tools for, you know, taking case backs off, for fiddling with watches. So if they like, you know, tinkering with watches and stuff like that, or they like, you know, fixing their own watches, something like this is perfect, and it's quite affordable too. Again, more affordable alternatives in the description. So now we get on to the final product, and that is a digital caliper. Now these are really handy. Apologies if you can hear any banging, we're just having some work done on the house. But yeah, So these are really handy for getting to know the sizes of your watch. So essentially you can use it to measure all the different aspects of your watch. So you can know how thick it is, how the lug width is, and that'll let you know a few different things. So especially handy for buying watch straps. So you can actually use these to measure the lug width, which is essentially the strap width. So if you don't know that already, you can use one of these, get that measurement, and then you can find the perfect strap for your watch. This is the one I use, £8, and it just comes in handy. I've used it so much. And then we get the more premium option. This is 20 quid. This one is more accurate, better presented, and it's just better made. So if you're looking for one for like a more premium-ish gift, then this one is a little bit better. It's just, like I said, it's a little bit better made, a little bit more accurate, and obviously a little bit higher quality. So there you have it. That is my very extensive list of different products and gift ideas for the watch enthusiast in your life. I hope you found this useful, and again, all the links for everything will be down in the description. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, like the video if you enjoyed it, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads, and of course follow me on social media at Mr. Budget Watch. Thanks again, I'll see you soon.